When I initially learned about VMware Tanzu, I believed it to be a single product, which was incorrect. For example, just like VMware ESXi. If you are familiar with the ESXi hypervisor, it's something that you installed on a physical server. Well, VMware Tanzu is not at all like that. VMware Tanzu matches VMware vRealize more nearly. The VMware vRealize suite, if you have heard of it, is a family of products similar to the Microsoft Office suite in that it's made up of a number of different applications. In reality, the first and most important thing you need to know about the VMware Tanzu suite is that it is a family of products or a suite of products made up of 9 different VMware products that comes from various sources. They are the result of numerous acquisitions that VMware has undertaken over the years as well as its own internal growth. I would like to show you distinct products here on tanzu.vmware.com, where VMware goes into great detail about the components of the product suite. If you click on Get Started, you can see that a number of the different products are available as a download or test drive. But if we want the complete list of products that make up the suite, we will check on Products, View All, and as you can see here, the VMware Tanzu product suite is broken down into two different categories. One is Cloud Native Application Deployment and Data, which I will just term development, and another is Enterprise Grade Kubernetes, which I will term operations. Still, as you can see, the four Tanzu products that make up the development group are really all focused on application development, microservices, container, and Kubernetes. They are really all focused on application development, microservices, data services, and application catalogs. And then the products in the operation groups are focused on running containerized application across multiple clouds and on premises in the enterprise. The operation products also focuses on gaining insight into what happening with your infrastructure and applications and service mesh, which provides connectivity and security for these modern applications. And finally, Kubernetes management. In the end, updating your infrastructure, apps, and development really is what the VMware Tanzu suite is all about. We will go over the Tanzu suite's advantages in a moment. But first, keep in mind that a lot of this has to do with Kubernetes. Kubernetes, or K8s as it is abbreviated, is a big part of the Tanzu suite. But there is a lot more to the Tanzu suite than just Kubernetes. But where did the VMware Tanzu product line originate? And why did VMware combine all these products into Tanzu Suite and give it to the world? Let's now discuss VMware Tanzu's beginning. VMware has traditionally been known for virtualizing the data center. So why come out with a suite around cloud native applications? How did VMware get here? Well, if we go back a little bit in time, many of you might recall when VMware vSphere replaced physical server as the dominant virtualization technology. With this enormous server virtualization project, we virtualized everything, as the saying goes, consuming the data center and even the cloud. This gave us a level of efficiency, agility, scalability, and availability we did never had before, or that would have been extremely expensive to achieve with physical servers. Virtualization had a magical quality in many ways. With zero downtime, we could reallocate virtual machines that were already running from one host to another. Additionally, in some cases, it may be possible to reallocate an already running virtual machine from on premises to the cloud with no downtime for it or its connected app. And while virtualization is awesome, it also has some drawbacks. The size of the operating systems that run inside of virtual machines, the resource needed, the time it takes for those operating systems to boot up, the security surrounding them, and the scalability of those applications over time are just a few of the drawbacks of virtualization. And because of this, many of us are eager to migrate many of these traditional applications to new cloud native modern designs where the applications run inside Kubernetes containers. Those containers runs inside pods and Kubernetes orchestras these modern applications given them availability and scalability. Although cloud native designs are more effective, sleeker, scalable and agile than traditional designs. They are not without drawbacks. It is severely lacking in standardization, governance, cost management, security, and other areas. And for that reason, the future, as I see, it is a really a hybrid container and virtual machines world. That is what VMware Tanzu is designed to provide the best of both worlds. This hybrid container and virtual machine world, where cloud native and traditional applications can run together in harmony with the governance, manageability, and security features that a business require. Well, it is really all about the applications that are needed for the business, and that exactly what Tanzu is designed to run and run well. Tanzu is here to handle all the operations, not just the modern program running in Docker containers managed by Kubernetes, but also the legacy application running in virtual machines, for instance on Windows Server 2008 are included. I am talking about mobile application at the edge, critical financial applications, point of sale applications, your web and e-commerce applications. Tanzu can run them all. For example, for the CEO who need access to the latest financial data, for the developer creating your next killer web app, for someone on a mobile device, laptop or desktop, someone on a tablet who needs access to point of sale data, who needs to process point of sale transaction, and yes, perhaps even for the warehouse guy with his flip phone. Tanzu can run all the applications that the modern business needs. Let's now talk about the benefits of the VMware Tanzu suite next. At this point, we have covered what the Tanzu suite is, from where it begins and what it can run. Now let's talk about specifically the benefits of Tanzu and who it helps. Start off with the two different sides of most IT organizations. They are the development group and the operation groups. And these two different groups are often at odds because they have different priorities. On the one hand, the development team must code, test, deploy, and support the business's applications. They must complete it as quickly and efficiently as they can. They use modern containers design orchestration to achieve this. For those containers, they want scalability and availability. However, they also want the operations group to just keep out of their way. They only need the applications up and operating as soon as possible. They don't care about infrastructure, where these applications are running, or what physical servers that is. Most of the time, people want self service to achieve that. In order to get this application up as quick as possible, we have seen a lot of development teams use their company's credit card to buy infrastructure from Amazon AWS, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud. The operations team and the business, however, lose many of the governance aspect as a result. The availability of the applications is a top priority for operations to guarantee that in the event of an infrastructure failure, the applications are always up and operating. As they are often the guardians of the company's data, the operations team is worried about the security of these applications. They care about the application's quality of service and want to make sure that everybody utilizing them has a positive experience. Of course, they are also concerned with keeping expenses under control and ensuring that applications are used and data is saved at the lowest possible cost when it comes to running the company's application. And that really begins me to the VMware tagline for the Tanzu suite, which is development and operations together. That it provides a developer ready infrastructure, and these are really all the priorities that Tanzu is designed to meet. It meets the need of the development group and the operations group to bring this priority together for the needs of the IT organization and ultimately the company. As a result, the development team prefers the VMware Tanzu family of products because it makes their job simpler and help them overcome problems, and the operation team prefers it because it makes their job easier. And ultimately, VMware Tanzu brings development and operations together, which is the tagline for VMware Tanzu. In fact, according to VMware, 87% of business and IT decision makers agree the great alignment among stakeholders involved in software development leads to more successful digital transformation. Thus, to sum up the advantages of the Tanzu suite is it offers self-service infrastructure so that developers may easily and rapidly get the infrastructure they require to operate their applications. It enables the development team to release software more quickly while also addressing the requirements of the operations team for application security, availability, scalability, and governance. Tanzu is a multi-cloud solution, so wherever you need to run this application, whether it's locally on your laptop, in an on-premises data center, or up in any of the many clouds, you can accomplish all of that with the VMware Tanzu suite. And even better, Tanzu allows you to run your cloud native application and traditional application together on the same infrastructure with the same security, availability, scalability, and governance benefit that the company requires. The end result is that VMware Tanzu can accelerate the business to be more agile, more competitive, and more efficient. So that's the high level big picture benefits for the VMware Tanzu suite. Some of the people watching this video might or might not be familiar with Kubernetes and containers. And you might be asking what these things are specially and how VMware Tanzu is related to them. So I want to make a moment to go into more detail on Tanzu, Kubernetes and containers. But if you have zero knowledge of what a container is or what Kubernetes is, please let me know in the comment section so I will create a video and you can develop a basic understanding of containers and Kubernetes. But just to give you a little bit of background, containers are the unit of encapsulations for most modern applications. Containers are a software construct almost like a zip file that contains a bills of material almost and a script to execute the application along with the code that's needed for the application. So you can think of a container almost like a zip file. Containers are a unit of encapsulations that used to run most modern applications. Inside the zip file, if you are familiar with that construct, you will find some basic software libraries as well as the code that used to run the application. The cool thing about this construct is that the application is very portable, and because it does not have a full operating system, it also very lightweight and fast to start up. But unless you are just going to run one, two or three containers, you really need an additional layer on top of your containers to orchestrate your application running in the containers. And that's what Kubernetes provides. It ensures that the application that should be running are running, and it allows you to rapidly scale up or scale down those containerized application as the demand requires. So, how does this relate to Tanzu? Well, the Tanzu suite of product is really a great solution for running and orchestrating these containerized applications, and it meets everyone's needs. As we have been talking about the needs of the development group and the operational group, their priorities are very different. And with that in mind, it's now time to wrap up this module. So, what do we have learned here? Well, it's going to answer the questions of what is VMware Tanzu, what makes up the Tanzu suite. You found out that it is made up of 9 different products really broken up into two categories, one that meets the needs of the application development group and another that meets the needs of the IT operations group. Some of the products are here as a result of an acquisition. Others were created by VMware in their own internal development group. And I should mention that the Tanzu family or suite of products really continues to evolve all the time. But we should remind ourselves that it's all about the applications. That's the ultimate goal here, to run the business application as efficient as possible. Whether it's a traditional application in a virtual machine or a modern cloud native application inside a container. From there, you learned about the benefits of the Tanzu suite, make development, deployment, orchestration, security, cost management, scalability, and monitoring easy for everyone. And then finally, we briefly talk about how containers and Kubernetes are used in cloud native designs for application modernization and how that relates to the VMware Tanzu of products. Alright, so I hope you got enough information about exactly what VMware Tanzu is. And don't worry, I will try to cover it in action here in a few different ways in upcoming videos. In the next video, we will try to understand when and where VMware Tanzu family of products are being used. How does VMware Tanzu help real companies run real application in the real world? So, see you in the next video.
If you like this video, please do share, like and subscribe to my channel for more such videos. Thank you and see you in the next video.